Hey everybody, how you doing? This is KIN214. This presentation is specifically on in regards to the bell curve of fitness and participant considerations. There'll be a couple different videos in this series, in this module, in this section regarding just how you actually design programs and design those programs based off of who's in front of you. But the important thing is trying to evaluate who the heck is in front of you. So I don't think I'm throwing any curveballs at anybody if I bring up the terminology bell curve. When you have a normal distribution in any population, you'll have roughly about 68% of that population falls within one standard deviation to the left or to the right, and then the next standard deviation out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, as you look at the population, further subcategorize people into different degrees of ability. So when you start looking at wellness and fitness, you can do the bell curve concept, and you can have the athletic population to the right, prehab rehab folks to the left, and your general population people will fall right in the middle. So now what this tells you is, as a practitioner, a full 65 to 70% of the people that come to see you will fall within one standard deviation of the mean. Completely average, totally normal people. Perhaps they had some type of aches, some type of ache or a pain, so they may be over here. Perhaps they're a weekend warrior type of athlete. They run one day a week, or they participate maybe in softball once a week or volleyball, and so there may be a standard deviation to the right. Now, the guys that play football on Saturdays and Sundays or compete in college and track, they're over here, and they are way over there. And some folks that are over here who are perhaps they just had a knee replacement, a hip replacement, and they're going through their rehab curve, they're over here. And where this becomes kind of important is when you look at this is trying to determine where the person is. Now, what you'll have though is this. Depending upon what population you deal with and where you work, you're going to have some kurtosis, meaning you're going to have some skewness in this bell curve. So it might not look like that normal distribution that you have that represented over here to the left. You might have, if you're somebody who does prehab rehab, more of the hump over here to the left, where most of your people are one standard deviation over to the left compared to the general population because they're mostly prehab rehab people. Conversely, if you coach athletics and you're a strength and conditioning coach in a college environment, you're dealing with people over here on the right-hand side. So the kurtosis and the skewness will then be on one side of the equation versus the other. It just depends who you're talking about and who's in front of you. And so when you look at this and you start to strategize how you're going to work with people, you know somebody who is here and wants to become more fit, you have some latitude. And I've talked about this before. When you have individuals who are from the athletic population, you have some limitations in terms of what you can and cannot do with them. It's nonsense to take a long distance runner and have them do heavy sets of singles or doubles on power clean. Conversely, to have your person who does Olympic weightlifting, or perhaps they're a thrower in track, go out and run a 1500 or better, 5,000 meter race, that's nonsense. So, much like everything else in life, you have this kind of continuum on which you work. So when you look at this, you go, okay, I have people who are athletic and they want to become fitter and they want to run a faster triathlon time. Got it. I just had somebody who had a knee replacement and wants to do a triathlon. So you can kind of see how those are on opposite ends of the spectrum. So the key takeaway there is somebody might come in who is apparently athletic. They do triathlons, once a month during the summer, once every 2 weeks, and they want to get a little bit more athletic and a little bit more explosive, or a little bit faster, a little better in terms of their technique. That's different than if a person comes in 2 weeks out of a knee replacement and they've been released from physical therapy after 2 weeks, and they want to do a triathlon. Completely different people standing in front of you who have similar goals in terms of their event. It's just their end result looks different. One person wants to increase their performance, and quite frankly, so does the other one. They want to increase their performance. But what is performance? Performance, for one, is to have an increased time, faster ride on their bike, they run faster, etc. This person over here may just want to finish. And you can make the argument that, yes, of course, they want to run faster and they want to bike faster and swim faster. But really, the person that just had some type of life event, some type of surgery, some type of knee replacement, a hip replacement, their goal, their end goal is going to look different than the person who already comes in, who's already doing these things. So just kind of keep in mind when you look at this distribution, and you look at the stimuli you're trying to place on the person to really elicit that general adaptation response, it has to be appropriate, it has to be proper, and it has to be proper for the person in front of you. So part of this game is understanding, okay, not only we can do 3 sets of 10, 5 sets of 6, or we can do 3 sets of 15, we can do different exercises, etc., but also where is the person starting off from? Are they starting off from the prehab rehab side of the bell curve, or are they starting off more towards the right-hand side? Also, importantly, know your environment. If you're in a prehab rehab environment, understand that those people who are on the left-hand side of the curve, you're going to be seeing more people in that prehab rehab side, so you're going to have some skewness there. Whereas if you're in a college coached environment and you're coaching athletes, you're going to see the kurtosis and skewness to the other side of the bell curve. And everybody you deal with, they're all going to be athletes, but you're going to have some people who come in who are prehab rehab, and you have to be able to take them from that prehab rehab side over and progress them to where they're back to being a functional athlete. So really, when you look at it, functioning is dictated by a few things, but really it's dictated by the client and their specific goals. And those are very important takeaways for this class. With that, guys, I'm signing off. Have a good one.